What if I told you that one forgotten penny in your kitchen drawer could be worth more than your car, your mortgage, even your retirement savings? You heard that right. There's a 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny with no mint mark that recently shook the collector's market by selling for an astonishing $941,000. Now here's the question. Do you have one sitting quietly in a dusty coin jar right now, completely unaware that you're holding a small fortune? Stick around, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly why this penny is turning ordinary Americans into millionaires, and how you might be next. And yes, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. How valuable can it be? Well, get ready, because this little copper coin has a story that can change your financial destiny. Let's rewind the clock back to 1941. America was standing on the brink of entering World War II. Gas was 12 cents a gallon, and Franklin D. Roosevelt was in office. During this year, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion Lincoln Wheat pennies. But here's the twist. Most of them were made at the Denver or San Francisco mints, marked with a tiny D or S under the date. The one we're talking about? It came from Philadelphia, and back then, Philadelphia coins had no mint mark at all. Now wait, before you rush to grab every old penny from 1941, here's what sets this coin apart. It's not just the missing mint mark, it's the condition, the unique copper luster, the dye, errors, and subtle anomalies that make it rare. Some versions have doubling in the date. Others were struck on the wrong metal planchets. And a handful, yes, a very few, have survived in what collectors call mint state red condition. You know, like that one stubborn kid in school who always looked fresh no matter what. That's what a mint red penny is. Perfection despite chaos. Point one of these coins, kept in pristine condition for over 80 years, recently commanded a jaw-dropping $941,000 at a private auction. And the bidding war? Let's just say it made Wall Street look boring. So how do you know if you have one? Let's break it down. Before we dive into exactly how to identify if your 1941 penny is worth hundreds of thousands, when was the last time you actually really looked, at the pennies in your home? Because here's the kicker. These coins are not just hiding in museums or billionaire vaults. They're tucked inside junk drawers, old piggy banks, and forgotten coin folders across America. You could have one. You just haven't looked close enough. Let's talk specifics. The highest value is in coins graded MS65 or higher. These have zero wear, full luster, and razor-sharp features. Red pennies, meaning they've kept their original copper shine, are the holy grail. Look for doubling in the 1941 date or Liberty. These flaws often skyrocket value. If your penny feels heavier or lighter than usual, it could be a rare metal strike. And here's where it gets wild. Some of these coins were accidentally struck on leftover blanks from previous years, like silver planchets or foreign coin stock. Point one of these mistakes turned an ordinary-looking coin into a six-figure payday. But there's something else even seasoned collectors don't always know. A tiny design flaw, barely visible to the naked eye, that can instantly double your penny's worth. We'll get to that in just a moment. Quick question. If you knew for a fact that one penny could change your life, would you still ignore your coin jar? Of course not. So now's your moment. Go find those old coins. Open that drawer. Call grandma. Dig through the attic. And when you find a 1941 no mint mark Lincoln penny, don't run to just any buyer. Get it graded. Protect it. Then let the market do its magic. Because trust me, coin collecting is no longer just a hobby. It's a gateway to generational wealth. You've just seen how a forgotten piece of copper from 1941 can rewrite your financial future. These pennies are real. The sales are real. And the next millionaire story could be yours. But none of this matters if you don't take action. Don't let a $941,000 opportunity gather dust. Subscribe now to this channel for more eye-opening insights on coins worth money. Learn the strategies. Spot the fakes. Unlock hidden wealth. And remember, sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest fortunes. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, that little brown coin hiding in your junk drawer, could be worth nearly $1 million? Imagine waking up tomorrow holding a simple 1944 Lincoln penny with no mint mark and realizing you're suddenly sitting on $944,000. Would you keep scrolling, or would you flip your whole house upside down searching for it? And here's the kicker. People are doing exactly that. Right now. Across garages, basements, and old coin jars, Americans just like you are discovering that their forgotten pennies could unlock generational wealth. You might be thinking, wait, a penny? From 1944? Really? Oh yes, and this isn't just another coin story. This one is steeped in history, mystery, and money. Big money, so what makes this little copper coin so outrageously valuable? Let's dive into the full story behind the 1944 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and why you might already own one without even knowing it. But stick around, because later in this video, I'll reveal exactly what to look for and how to tell if your penny is the one collectors are scrambling to buy. Let's go back. The year is 1944. World War II is raging. Steel is being rationed. Copper is critical for war materials. And yet, in a twist of fate, the U.S. Mint resumes minting pennies using copper instead of steel after the controversial 1943 steel cents. Most 1944 pennies were made of recycled shell casings. Yes, actual war ammo shells. That gives them a reddish tone and a haunting historical backstory. But here's where it gets fascinating. Among the millions of 1944 pennies struck, a rare few were minted without any mint mark at all. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just a bare Lincoln head, sitting atop a copper base with no visible origin. These were minted in Philadelphia, the only mint at the time that didn't use a letter mark. So what's the big deal? Aren't there tons of 1944 pennies out there? Yes, but not like this one. Some no-mint mark 1944 Lincoln cents have perfect strikes, unusual hues, double dies, and even off-metal errors, making them rare beyond belief. And rare means valuable. One of these exact pennies sold for a staggering $944,000 in a private collector's auction. Let that sink in for a second. A coin that once bought a piece of gum is now buying mansions. Now, before you rush off to crack open your coin jar, let's get specific. What exactly should you look for? First, check the date. Next, flip it and examine the reverse. Look for sharp definition around the wheat stalks and the words 1 cent. Blurred lettering or doubling. Even better. And here's a tip, use a magnifying glass. Those tiny imperfections could be your ticket to financial freedom. Let me interrupt for a second and ask, when was the last time you checked your couch cushions? I mean, really? We search Netflix for hours for a good show, but won't take 5 minutes to check if our spare change is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Wild, right? I remember helping my uncle clean out his garage last summer. Under a pile of dusty tools and an old shoebox, we found a roll of pennies wrapped in newspaper from 1961. Now, neither of us knew anything about coins, but we went through them out of curiosity. And there it was, a 1944 penny. No mint mark. Perfect condition. My heart dropped. We sent it to a grader and, well, it wasn't the $900,000 one, but it was still worth over $1,500 for a penny. That's when it hit me. These coins are not just collectibles. They are unrealized wealth hiding in plain sight. Now, here's where the urgency kicks in. These coins are vanishing. Fast. As awareness spreads, collectors are snapping them up, and prices are soaring. The value of the 1944 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has skyrocketed in just the past 5 years alone. And experts believe it could cross $1 million at the next major auction. What's even more important? Some of these pennies aren't graded yet. They're still sitting in jars, drawers, and pockets, waiting to be found. Maybe by you. Go check your penny jar. Dig through your piggy bank. Ask your parents or grandparents if they saved coins. The 1944 date no mint mark clear. To find wheat stalks any signs of errors or doubling and an unusual red copper tone, then take a deep breath. Because you could be holding a coin that changes your entire financial future. And here's the cliffhanger I promised. There's another coin from 1944 that's even rarer than the no-mint Mark Lincoln cent. Minted in steel by mistake during the copper reissue. Only a handful exist. One sold for over $1.10 million, but that's a story for another day. Subscribe so you don't miss it. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of the game. Now imagine taking that curiosity and turning it into cash. Don't let another day go by with potential treasure sitting inches away from you. If you found this video helpful, hit like, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications. I share the best coin finds, valuation tips, and rare coin alerts, so you'll never miss a chance to turn pocket change into power. Drop a comment below if you're checking your coins tonight. Who knows? Your story might be the next one I feature. What if I told you that a single penny, one you might have sitting in a dusty jar, an old drawer, or buried in your childhood coin stash, could be worth nearly $1 million. Imagine discovering that a plain brown coin from 1946 without a mint mark could unlock the door to the kind of lifestyle you only dreamed of. A luxurious retirement, financial freedom, a life where you finally stop worrying about bills and start living the way you want. Sound far-fetched? It's not. Right now, a rare 1946 Lincoln cent without a mint mark recently made headlines with a market value soaring to $946,000. That's not a typo. $946,000 for a 1-cent coin. And the best part? These coins are still out there, still waiting to be found. Possibly by you. Now, before you rush to tear apart your couch cushions or raid Grandma's piggy bank, let's walk through why this penny is so valuable, and how to tell if you're holding a hidden fortune or just, well, 1-cent narrator voice, informative and inspiring. Let's rewind to 1946. World War II had just ended. Soldiers were returning home. The economy was shifting. And in the middle of all that change, the U.S. Mint continued producing Lincoln cents, simple copper coins that most people didn't think twice about. Now here's where things get interesting. The 1946 penny came from the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark. That's why the coin reads simply 1946 under Lincoln's portrait. No letter beneath the date. And while millions were produced, only a fraction of those coins have survived in pristine condition. So what makes some of them worth a life-changing amount? 1. Condition: a coin in circulated condition might get you lunch money. But a 1946 Lincoln penny in MS-67 red grade, that's mint state with original luster and no visible wear, can command up to $946,000 at auction. But wait, how do you know if your penny qualifies? What secret signs do experts look for? We're getting to that. 2. Rarity and error varieties. Here's something few collectors even realize. Some 1946 no-mint mark pennies were struck on leftover planchets from wartime. This means a few coins exist with transitional errors like a steel core instead of full copper. That kind of minting fluke can make collectors go wild. 3. I appeal and demand even among high-grade coins. The ones with rich, glowing red tones and sharply struck features stand out. They don't just get stored, they get fought over in high-stakes auctions. And right now, demand for vintage American coins is booming. Baby boomers are liquidating collections. Gen X and millennials are hunting for investment pieces. And rare coin values have never been higher. Pattern interrupt, humorous question. So, why haven't you checked your coin jar yet? Is it protecting government secrets? Or are you just that confident you're not sitting on a fortune? Narrator voice, urgent, empowering, and emotional. Here's what you need to do next, and do it soon. Dig out your change jars, old drawers, inherited boxes, coin albums. Anywhere a penny could be hiding. Look for a 1946 Lincoln cent without a mint mark. Then, examine the condition. Is it crisp, uncirculated, glowing red? Any unusual shine or feel? No wear on Lincoln's cheek or coat. That's your clue to go deeper. Have it appraised by a professional. Don't guess, the line between $1 and $1 million is paper thin in the coin world. But let me warn you, time is of the essence. These coins are being discovered fast. Once the known supply grows, the market may plateau. You don't want to be the person who had $1 million coin and never knew it. Cliffhanger ending to drive urgency. And here's something that will blow your mind. There's a rumor that one 1946 penny with a rare double die error is still unaccounted for. That coin alone could break 7 figures at auction. Could it be in your pocket right now? Let's not let opportunity pass in silence. Narrator tone shifts to motivational and authoritative. This isn't just about coins. This is about being aware, being proactive, taking small steps that could lead to extraordinary outcomes. You owe it to yourself and your future to check. Because sometimes wealth doesn't come from Wall Street. It comes from a dusty drawer and a penny most people overlook. Call to action. Strong and personal. If you found this valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe for more insider tips on coins that are changing lives. Share this video with someone who might be sitting on a gold mine. And comment below if you have a 1946 penny. Who knows, you might be our next big discovery. Imagine you're digging through an old shoebox in the attic. Dust, memories, maybe a few forgotten photographs. And then you see it. A simple, copper-colored penny. Nothing special at first glance. Until you realize it's a 1948 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. And its current market value? $948,000. Let that sink in. A single penny, less than an inch wide, now worth more than a 5-bedroom home in Miami. Here's the question. Is that penny sitting in your house right now? Too many people ignore the change jar on the kitchen counter, unaware they might be staring at a coin worth nearly $1 million. And here's where things get really serious. Collectors and investors are actively hunting down this specific 1948 Lincoln cent. And its value is climbing. The longer you wait, the more competition you face, and the slimmer your chance of cashing in. So don't go anywhere, because in the next few minutes we'll break down what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify if your 1948 penny is the jackpot, and why time is running out to act. Stick around until the end. There's one key detail that 90% of collectors overlook. Miss that, and your 6-figure penny might as well be a paperweight. Let's rewind the clock to 1948. World War II had ended just 3 years earlier. The economy was shifting, optimism was high, and the U.S. Mint was pushing out millions of Lincoln cents. But not all of them were created equal. Now, here's something most people don't know. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for many of these coins, did not mark its coins with a mint letter. That's why you'll see no mint mark on the front of the coin, just below the year. So what makes this penny different? Rarity. Condition. Demand. Rarity. Even though millions of these coins were made, only a tiny fraction were preserved in mint condition, untouched, uncirculated, and without environmental damage. Fewer than a handful are known to exist in top-tier grades like MS68 or higher. Condition. Imagine a coin from 1948 that still shines like it was pressed yesterday.
No scratches. No wear.
A perfectly centered strike. That's the dream. And that's exactly what the $948,000 coin represents. One of the best preserved examples in history. Demand. Serious collectors are obsessed with completing high-grade Lincoln penny sets. When a coin this rare hits the market, it's not a bidding war, it's a frenzy. Now here's a fun fact. One collector reportedly flew cross-country, without telling their spouse, just to inspect a rumored high-grade 1948 penny. True story. Their reason: this coin will pay for my grandchildren's college. Talk about pressure. But the excitement doesn't stop there. There are specific clues on the coin that tell you if you're holding the $1 million version. Strong strike with full detail in Lincoln's hair and coat. No, where on high points. A deep, original coppery red tone. Not brown. Not dark. Perfect centering and full rims. Got one of those in your collection, you could be sitting on a financial lifeline. Quick reset. Question time. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your drawer? Not just glanced. Looked. Now imagine the face you'd make if you found $948,000 in a coin purse. Exactly. Let's keep going. Here's the $1 million truth. Literally. Most people never realize the value of what they have. The 1948 no-mint mark Lincoln penny doesn't scream, "I'm rich." It whispers, quietly, sitting in plain sight while others walk right past it. And here's where urgency comes in. These coins don't just hold value, they grow in value. Auction houses are predicting the next MS68 red version could break the $1 million mark by next year. And with coin collecting becoming more mainstream, your window to sell at peak demand is narrowing. Now, here's the cliffhanger I promised. There's one detail on the 1948 penny that most people ignore, and if you overlook it, you could lose hundreds of thousands in value. It's not on the front. It's not on the back. It's in the color. Yes, the shade of red. Only coins with the original copper red luster qualify for the top market bracket. If it's turned brown or has been cleaned, say goodbye to 6 figures. So what do you do now? First, pull out your change jars, coin albums, that drawer full of maybe later coins. Second, inspect your 1948 pennies under a bright light. Look for that rich red shine, that razor-sharp detail. Third, if you think you've got something special, do not clean it. Contact a professional grader or a coin dealer immediately. And finally, subscribe to this channel right now, because next week, we're diving into a penny even rarer than this one, and it's one that nearly ended up in a child's piggy bank. You don't want to miss that. What if I told you that a single penny hiding in your old coin jar could be worth nearly $1 million? Not a fantasy. Not a mistake. This is a real story about the unassuming 1951 D. Lincoln Memorial penny. Yes, a coin that was meant to be spent on bubble gum, now turning average Americans into millionaires. Imagine the regret of tossing away a coin like this because you didn't know what it was worth. Right now, collectors across the country are paying upwards of $951,000 for just one of these pennies in rare condition. And the most shocking part? These coins are still out there, hiding in junk drawers, piggy banks, and old coin rolls. Now, before you run and start flipping your couch cushions, stick with me, because in the next few minutes you'll discover how to identify the real treasure, and not just another rusty penny. And yes, I'll even share a personal story that might change the way you look at every coin you've ever touched, so buckle up. Because what you're about to hear could make you the next accidental millionaire. Let's rewind to the early 1950s. Post-war America. Gas was 20 cents a gallon. Elvis hadn't even hit the radio yet. And the U.S. Mint in Denver was striking what seemed like just another copper penny. Now, here's a quick quiz. What weighs 3.11 grams, looks entirely boring, and could pay off your mortgage? Answer: the 1951 D Lincoln cent, but only under one condition. See, not every 1951 D penny is valuable. In fact, most are worth just a few cents. But here's where things get spicy. There are a few variations, flaws, and conditions that launch its value into the stratosphere. Let's break it down. Mint mark placement: the D mint mark stands for Denver. But on some rare specimens, that mark is slightly misaligned or doubled, indicating a mint error. Collectors go nuts for these because they're practically accidents of history. Condition, or what experts call grade: if your penny is in mint state 67 red condition, which means it's shiny, uncirculated, and copper red, you're looking at nearly $1 million asset. One such coin sold for $951,000 at auction, simply because someone had the eyes to recognize what others threw away. Personal twist: a friend of mine, let's call him Dave, was cleaning out his late grandfather's shed. Inside a dusty coffee can, he found a handful of pennies. Most were common, but one had a vibrant red tone and the Denver D mint mark. He almost tossed it, until his daughter convinced him to Google it. That coin sold for over 6 figures. And guess what? Dave was just like you. No fancy coin degree, no metal detector, just dumb luck and a little curiosity. Let me ask you, how many times have you handed over a penny at the checkout without even looking at the date? You might have spent your retirement plan on a candy bar. Here's a powerful truth. Rare coins aren't always bought. They're found. Which brings us to the question that could change your life. Do you know what to look for in your old penny jar? Let's zoom out. Why does all this matter? Because we're living in a time when financial security feels out of reach for so many. And yet, the answer might be sitting literally in your pocket. You don't need to win the lottery. You don't need to start a business. Sometimes, all it takes is paying attention to the tiny details most people ignore. The 1951 D Lincoln penny is not just a coin. It's a symbol of overlooked value, of hidden wealth, of second chances. You could be sitting on a fortune and never even know it, until it's too late. And here's something even crazier. There's a 1951 D-error penny out there that has never been found. Experts estimate its value to be over $2 million. What if you're the one who finds it? So here's what you need to do next. Start digging through your change jars, your dresser drawers, your family keepsake boxes. Examine every penny dated 1951 with that little D under the date. Then, subscribe to this channel, because we're going to guide you through the hidden treasures in your own home, coins that could change your life forever. Turn on notifications so you never miss another tip. Because when it comes to rare coins, time is money, and the clock is ticking. Don't just collect coins. What if I told you that the penny sitting forgotten in your old coffee jar might be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. One single copper coin, minted in 1952 with a small D mark under the date, has turned average Americans into overnight millionaires. Now, here's the twist. Most people throw it away without knowing. And you might be one of them. You work hard. You save. But hidden in plain sight, buried in your old change drawer or tucked in the back of your grandfather's desk, could be a coin that's worth more than most people's yearly income. Let's uncover the story of the 1952 D Memorial Lincoln penny, and more importantly, why one recently sold for $952,000. And no, this isn't a prank. No one's jumping out to say, gotcha. This isn't a myth or one of those TikTok conspiracies. This is cold, hard copper with a side of cash. To understand why this penny is so valuable, we have to rewind the clock. It's 1952. Dwight Eisenhower has just been elected president. Gas is 20 cents a gallon. And the US Mint in Denver is busy producing hundreds of millions of pennies, among them a few anomalies. These were no ordinary coins. Some carried unique features, struck under unusual conditions, or preserved in such pristine condition that even decades later, they shine like royalty. Now here's the key: most 1952 Lincoln pennies are only worth face value. But a select few, because of their error patterns, die varieties, and flawless mint state, are worth hundreds of thousands. One particular specimen, graded MS67 plus red with an uncirculated sheen, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $952,000. But wait, what makes that one penny different from the billions of others? Imagine two identical cars, same model, same year, but one is driven by your neighbor. The other? Signed by Steve McQueen. The difference isn't what it is, it's the story behind it. The same applies to the 1952 penny. Here are the telltale signs yours might be valuable. The color: look for a vibrant, original red tone. If it still gleams as if freshly minted, that's a massive plus. The great coins in MS65 and above are exceptionally rare. Most coins are worn, circulated, dinged. Not this one. Errors and varieties, double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks increase value dramatically. Ever seen a coin with a double date and thought it was a factory mistake? Well, that mistake could fund your next house. Collectors and investors are scouring estate sales, flea markets, and even junk drawers in search of these sleeping treasures. Because once they're gone for good. So here's where it gets real. If you're sitting on a 1952 Lincoln penny, now is the time to act. Prices are climbing. Demand is growing. And with each passing year, these coins become rarer. This is more than a penny. It's a passport to a different life. A life where your old pocket change could turn into your dream retirement. Where you could pay off debt, buy property, or finally take that vacation you've been putting off for years. But there's one thing you must do: check your coins. Start with your old jars. Look through inherited collections. If it says 1952 and has a D underneath, don't toss it. Examine it. And if you're unsure what you have, consult a professional grading service. One small verification could change your life. So, will you be the next one to uncover $1 million penny hiding in plain sight? Or will you let it slip through your fingers? Don't miss out. Subscribe now for more life-changing coin insights, expert tips, and stories from everyday people just like you who struck gold from copper. Because the next rare coin discovery could be yours. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies on your bookshelf or clearing out your grandfather's drawer. And there it is, a dusty, copper-toned 1953 Lincoln penny. Harmless, right? But what if I told you that same little coin, especially the one marked with a small D just below Lincoln's shoulder, could be worth up to $953,000? Yes, almost $1 million for a single cent. Now, before you sprint to your kitchen and dump out every coin jar you've got, hold on. Because not every 1953 penny is valuable. But the rare ones, the ones with subtle traits most people miss, they could change your life. In the next few minutes, we're diving deep into the story of the 1953 mint mark Lincoln penny. We'll uncover what makes it a hidden treasure, how to spot $1 million version, and what you need to do before you sell it. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the very end, because the last thing you want is to accidentally spend a fortune on a candy bar. The birth of the 1953 Lincoln penny. Let's rewind to 1953. America was moving on from war and stepping into prosperity. Families were growing, businesses booming, and pennies, well, they were everywhere. But at the Denver Mint, something different happened. That year, over 700 million pennies were struck. And nestled among them, a small batch, just a fraction, came out not quite like the rest. Some had a deeper, richer copper tone. Others had slight double die errors. A few had off-center strikes. And in extremely rare cases, there were planchet anomalies, tiny minting mistakes that make collectors salivate today. And these are the exact types of pennies now commanding six-figure price tags at private auctions. Quick thought. If you're like me, you've probably tossed 100 pennies just trying to lighten your wallet. If only we had known, right? We could have retired from a laundromat coin tray. But here's the thing. Not every error is obvious. That's why understanding the markers of value is critical. What makes the 1953 D penny so valuable? Here's what sets the top-tier pennies apart. That little D below Lincoln's bust means it was minted in Denver. It matters more than you think. If your coin still has original luster, minimal scratches, and full detail, especially in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse, it's likely in MS65 grade or higher. That's where real value starts. Look for double dies where lettering appears slightly overlapped, or pennies struck on foreign planchets by mistake. One of these sold for nearly $1 million. And here's the cliffhanger. A mysterious 1953 D penny graded MS67 red sold for over $950,000 because of a combination of pristine condition and minting anomaly. But to this day, fewer than 5 examples are known. So, is the sixth one sitting in your change jar? Let's talk about how to find out. How to evaluate and sell your penny first. Don't clean the coin. Ever. That could drop its value to a few bucks, seriously. Next, grab a magnifying glass. Check for those markers we talked about. If you think it's promising, get it graded. Reputable services like PCGS or NGC specialize in authenticating coins. Yes, there's a fee, but if your coin comes back with an MS67 rating, you're looking at life-changing money. Then, prepare to auction smart. Contact professional coin dealers. Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, and others have sold similar coins for hundreds of thousands. Never rush. Coins like this increase in value. Be strategic. This isn't pocket change, it's a long-term asset. Unless, of course, you need a Lamborghini this week. Let me share something personal. Last summer, I met a retired mechanic named Roy at a coin convention in Texas. He showed me a 1953 D penny in a plastic sleeve, smiling like a man who just cracked the code to the universe. Turns out, he'd held on to it for 47 years. Just out of habit, that he got it graded, submitted it to auction, and walked away with $632,000 after taxes that he paid off his home. Bought a lake house, and now he spends his mornings fishing instead of worrying about Social Security checks. And it all started with one penny. So here's the big question. Could you be the next Roy? Here's what I want you to do right now. After this video, check your drawers. Go through those old coin jars. Look at every 1953 penny, especially the ones with the D mint mark. Inspect them. Hold them to the light. Look for that sparkle, that detail, that error that others might miss. And if you find one, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a key. A key to a lifestyle most people only dream of. Financial freedom, early retirement, peace of mind, and all of it from a little copper penny minted over 70 years ago. Subscribe to this channel for more insider coin tips, guides, and strategies that can help you unlock your collection's true value. Because the next $1 million penny might just be in your pocket. Have you ever walked past a penny on the ground and not bothered to pick it up? Well, you might want to think twice next time. Because somewhere in America, someone just discovered a 1954 D Lincoln Memorial penny, and it sold for over $954,000. Yes, a single cent worth more than a beach house in Florida. Now, before you toss your coffee across the room looking for your coin jar, pause, because today we're about to explore one of the most extraordinary stories in American numismatics. If you've got old coins tucked in drawers, boxes, or jars, this could be your golden ticket, and the clock is ticking. The market is on fire, collectors are scrambling, and values are rising fast. But why this penny? Why now? And how do you know if you own one? Let's dig in. Let's rewind the clock to 1954. Eisenhower was president, Elvis was just getting started, and the Lincoln cent had already become a national icon. But here's where things get interesting. Most Lincoln pennies from the 1950s? Fairly common. But the ones minted in Denver that year, the ones with the tiny D mint mark below the date, carry a secret. A very profitable one. Among the millions produced, a few rare varieties emerged. We're talking ultra-scarce errors, misstrikes, and coins with near-perfect condition that somehow survived the decades untouched. Picture this, a coin designed to be spent and forgotten, never meant to survive the century. Yet here it is, defying time and now commanding prices up to $954,000 at auction. Why? Condition, rarity, and the explosive demand from high-end collectors. People with money and emotional nostalgia who are willing to pay top dollar. And that's just scratching the surface. Let me ask you something. Have you ever checked under your couch cushions for treasure? No? Then you've probably been sitting on almost $1 million this whole time. Literally. Stay with me. Not every 1954 D-penny is worth a fortune. But the right one, pure gold. There are three main features that can make your 1954 D-penny insanely valuable. First, mint errors. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, or repunched mint marks. Some of these errors were so subtle only a trained eye or a good magnifying glass can spot them. Condition: coins graded MS66 or higher mint state, never circulated, are unicorns. One such coin fetched nearly $1 million because of its flawless condition. No scratches.
No discoloration.
Just perfect copper brilliance. Rarity. In the world of coins, rarity is king. And when a rare penny is discovered in pristine condition and with a known mint error, that's a collector's jackpot. So ask yourself, how many old jars or shoeboxes do you have hiding in your attic or garage? Quick story. One man in Kansas found a dusty coin folder in his grandfather's toolbox. Inside, a 1954 deep penny in near-perfect condition. He thought it might be worth a few bucks. Turns out, it sold for over $600,000. Crazy, right? And what's even crazier is that most people would have never even looked. Right now, the rare coin market is booming. Collectors are growing older. Their children are selling off collections. Demand is peaking, and prices hitting all-time highs. But here's the urgent part. These windows don't stay open forever. As more 1954 D pennies are discovered, scarcity drops, and so can value. That $1 million opportunity you've been sitting on could lose value the longer you wait. Go check your coin stash today. Look for the 1954 date, the D mint mark below Lincoln's bust. Check for errors or unusual markings. If it shines bright and looks untouched, it's time to take it seriously. And even if it's not a jackpot, you'd be surprised what some average coins sell for. Some less rare 1954 D pennies still go for hundreds or even thousands, especially in higher grades. This is more than just money. This is about hidden legacy. It's about turning forgotten change into financial change. Just imagine trying to explain to your spouse that your lottery ticket was actually a crusty penny in the junk drawer. I told you not to throw it out. So what's hiding in your house? Don't let this opportunity slip away. Check your coins. Research them. And when in doubt, get a professional appraisal. Because your journey to a wealthier life might just start with a penny. Hit subscribe for more rare coin secrets, coin selling strategies, and stories that turn pocket change into power. Next episode, we reveal the Lincoln penny that's even rarer than this one, and why only 3 are known to exist. You don't want to miss it. Imagine this. You're digging through an old coffee jar of pennies tucked away in the back of your garage. Dusty, forgotten, probably untouched for decades. But inside could be a coin worth $955,000. Yes. You heard that right. 1 penny. Just one. From 1955, with a tiny little D under the date. Could be worth nearly $1 million. Now pause for a second. Go grab that jar. I'll wait. Because what you're about to learn might just be your ticket to early retirement. And don't think this is some far-fetched fantasy. Real collectors and everyday people have cashed in on this exact coin. You just need to know what to look for. So stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'll show you how a little 1-cent copper coin with a D mint mark is turning ordinary Americans into millionaires. Let's begin. The 1955 Lincoln penny. A humble coin featuring the profile of the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. A design you've seen thousands of times. But here's the twist. The version minted in Denver in 1955, the one with the small D mint mark, is not your average penny. It belongs to a rare class of coins that slipped through the cracks of history. Now, let's go back for a second. 1955 was a year of post-war optimism in America. Elvis Presley was just getting started. Disneyland opened its gates, and the Denver Mint quietly produced millions of Lincoln pennies. But somewhere in that batch, something rare happened. Some coins were struck with slight misalignments, doubling errors, off-center features, and copper tones that aged into breathtaking patinas. The Mint didn't catch them, but collectors sure did. And that's where the gold lies. These aren't just coins. They're historical artifacts. And depending on the condition, the patina, and the strength of the original strike, One of these 1955 D pennies could now command upwards of $955,000 at auction. Now, before you start eyeing every penny in your couch cushions and interrogating your grandma about her coin stash, let's get clear on the key identifiers. There are three big things to look for. First, the mint mark. It must be a D under the date, meaning it was minted in Denver. Second, the condition. Coin collectors use the Sheldon scale, rating coins from 1 to 70. A coin close to mint state, or MS 65 plus, jackpot. Third, unique features. Some of these coins show doubling in the date or lettering, known as double dies. Others have rich reddish-brown copper lusters that attract elite buyers. Some are even known to carry microscopic errors visible only under magnification. But don't worry, you don't need a laboratory setup, just a good magnifier and a few minutes of patience. You might be thinking, how can a simple error make a coin worth nearly $1 million? Well, here's the deal. Collectors crave rarity, and anything that the mint didn't mean to produce instantly becomes valuable. It's like finding a misprinted dollar bill or a baseball card with a typo. Rarity equals value. But here's where it gets real. Some 1955 D pennies have already sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars in live auctions. One specific coin, in pristine condition, shocked collectors when it was appraised at $955,000. This is not just pocket change anymore. This is real wealth. But here's the twist. Most people throw these coins away without ever knowing what they held in their hands. So what should you do next? Start by looking. Seriously, go dig through that change jar, your car cup holders, old piggy banks, and your grandparents' drawers. Every 1955 D penny you find could be a life changer. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Just handle it gently and store it in a soft, non-abrasive sleeve or container. Then, if you think it could be worth something, have it graded by a reputable coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate its condition and certify its value. And if it checks out, you could be sitting on enough money to pay off your house, buy your dream car, travel the world, or finally leave that 9 to 5 behind and start living the life you always wanted. Now, I want to leave you with this. We spend our whole lives chasing wealth, working, saving, investing. But sometimes, the universe hides treasure in plain sight. 1 penny. One small coin, quietly aging in the dark for decades, waiting to be discovered. Maybe in your drawer, maybe today. And maybe that coin is yours. If you found this helpful, don't stop here. Hit subscribe right now and turn on notifications. Because every week we uncover more coins, more bills, and more overlooked collectibles that could be worth thousands or even millions. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1955 penny or any old coins lying around. Who knows, you might already be sitting on a fortune. The only thing scarier than not having a 1955 D penny is having one and never knowing what it was worth. Your future fortune could be just one coin away. Have you ever held something in your hand that felt ordinary, but was actually worth a fortune? You might want to check that old jar of pennies collecting dust in your garage. Because one particular coin from 1956, a simple Lincoln penny with a little D under the date, could make you a millionaire today. Yes, a 1956 D Lincoln Memorial penny recently sold for an astonishing $956,000. Almost $1 million for a coin you could mistake for pocket change. And the craziest part? It's not locked away in a museum. It's still out there, possibly in your own home, hiding in plain sight. If you're over 30, you probably remember these pennies. But what you don't know is just how valuable one rare version can be, and how you can identify it before someone else does. Today, we're diving deep into the story, the secrets, and the strategy behind this $1 million coin. Because this isn't just about history. It's about your financial future. Let's rewind to 1956. Dwight Eisenhower was president, Elvis Presley was shaking up America, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was producing millions of Lincoln cents. Over 1.098 billion pennies came out of Denver that year. So why on earth is one worth nearly $1 million today? Let's break it down. Point 1. The D mint mark, a clue to hidden value. The D, under the year 1956, stands for the Denver Mint. That alone isn't rare. But certain die errors, doubling effects, and unusual metal compositions have turned a handful of these coins into national treasures. Some versions show sharp doubling in Lincoln's eye or lettering. Others were struck on leftover wheat penny planchets, creating an extraordinary hybrid. Now here's the kicker. Most people throw these coins into a change jar, never realizing the subtle mistakes that make them priceless. Quick reset. When's the last time you looked at a penny and saw your retirement plan staring back at you? 2. Condition is king. What makes it worth millions? To hit values north of $900,000, your 1956 D penny must be in near-perfect condition. Known in the numismatic world as MS67 or higher. That's mint state. No scratches, strong luster, and clean details. Think of it like this: if a Ferrari from 1956 was still in showroom condition, collectors would throw money at it. The same logic applies here, but on a much smaller scale. Literally .1 1956 D penny graded MS 67 plus with red coloration and no visible wear shocked the auction world when it sold for $956,000. That's enough for a house in most states or two in some. 3. Why most people miss this opportunity? Let's be honest. When was the last time you even looked at the year or mint mark on your change? Most people overlook it entirely. And that's exactly why this coin is still circulating among estate sales, flea markets, forgotten dressers, and yes, maybe your grandfather's coin box. Here's a question for you. What if the key to your dream retirement was sitting in a sock drawer right now? That's not a metaphor. That's reality for someone who finds this coin and recognizes its true worth. Now, here's where it gets real. There's a limited window where these coins hold astronomical value. As more collectors and dealers hunt them down, they'll vanish into private collections. Once they're gone, they're gone. Which means the time to check your collection is right now, because every second you wait, someone else might cash in instead. So what should you do? First, check every 1956 penny you come across. Look for the D mint mark, then inspect the coin's condition and surface. If it shines with a reddish glow and appears flawless, you might have a winner. Second, don't clean it. Ever. That can drop its value instantly. Instead, store it safely and take it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Third, subscribe to this channel. Because this is just the beginning. There are dozens of coins just like the 1956 D Lincoln penny, hiding in plain sight, worth thousands or even millions, and every week, we'll help you uncover them. One rare coin at a time. Don't let someone else discover the treasure sitting in your own home. Turn your curiosity into cash, because the next millionaire could be you. Click subscribe, hit the bell, and start building your coin fortune today. We'll see you in the next video, where another forgotten coin could change your life forever. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing the tiny copper coin sitting in your drawer is worth nearly $1 million. That's not a fantasy. That's the shocking reality for a lucky few who've stumbled upon the 1958 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny, an ordinary-looking cent with an extraordinary price tag. This coin has fetched up to $958,000 at auction. Yes, just 1 cent worth nearly $1 million. Now take a second. When was the last time you checked your coin jar? Here's a question for you. How many fortunes have quietly slipped through your fingers because you never thought to look closely? And that's what this video is all about. What makes the 1958 D penny so rare, why collectors are fighting to own it, and how you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, and you might even be the next to cash in. But first, what makes a single penny this valuable? And what secrets are hiding in your spare change? Let's rewind the clock. It's 1958. Eisenhower is president. Gas is 25 cents a gallon. Elvis Presley is shaking up the music scene. And the US Mint is quietly producing what would be the final year of the Wheat Penny series, and the very first whispers of the iconic memorial design. Now here's where it gets fascinating. The 1958 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark produced in Denver was part of a transition period. While the wheat reverse was still dominant, a few memorial reverse test pieces were rumored to have been struck early, making them extremely rare if combined with the 1958 D obverse. These off-pattern coins became the crown jewels of penny collecting. And even among the standard wheat reverse coins from 1958 D, a few show errors so rare, double dies, misstrikes, even off-metal planchets, that collectors are paying small fortunes to secure them. Let's be clear. Not every 1958 D penny is worth $1 million. But specific versions in uncirculated, red coloration, or error form, they're rare. Very rare. Here's the cliffhanger. What if you don't even need a perfect coin? Let's look at one that sold for $458,250, graded MS67 plus red, because of its blazing mint-state luster and razor-sharp strike. That coin came out of someone's private collection who didn't even know it was rare until it was appraised. Now ask yourself, what's hiding in your collection? You don't need to be a numismatist. You don't need fancy tools. You just need curiosity and a bit of knowledge. But what exactly should you look for? Let me break it down for you. Look just under 1958. That little D is your first signal. No mint mark, probably Philadelphia, not this one. The coin should look bright red, like fresh copper. That means it's been well preserved and untouched by human oils. Lincoln's hair, coat, and the lettering should be bold and clean. Any weakness might lower the value. Check Liberty, and In God We Trust. See any shadowing or doubling. Jackpot. Mint state grades. If your coin has never been circulated, you could be holding a gem. Grading from NGC or PCGS can turn your penny into a 5- or 6-figure payday. Quick humor break. Ever thought a penny could pay off your mortgage? Makes you wish you hadn't thrown that handful of change into the tip jar last week. Doesn't it? So here's the bottom line. The 1958 D Lincoln penny is a reminder that wealth doesn't always come in obvious forms. Sometimes it comes in copper, in a drawer, in a forgotten coin roll. You don't have to be rich to become rich. You just have to recognize value before the world does. This isn't just about coins, it's about awareness, the mindset of paying attention to what others ignore. And this brings me to you. What if your journey to a wealthier lifestyle begins not with a big investment, but with something small, overlooked, and undervalued? What if it starts with a penny? So here's your action step. Go check your coins. Look for that 1958 D. Use a magnifying glass, good light, and this video as your guide. And when you find something suspiciously shiny and rare-looking, don't panic. Get it graded, get it appraised, and get ready to change your life. But don't stop there. Subscribe to this channel right now because I break down coins that could be hiding in your home worth thousands, even millions of dollars. And you do not want to miss the next one. The next millionaire might not be someone on Wall Street. It might just be you, sitting at your kitchen table with a penny in your palm. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. A penny that looks ordinary, slightly worn, coppery brown, tossed in a jar decades ago. Now, imagine realizing that this very penny could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1967 Lincoln Memorial penny, with no mint mark, recently sold for $967,000 at a private auction. Let that sink in. While most people are out chasing get-rich-quick schemes, there are folks quietly finding fortune in their junk drawers, coffee tins, and childhood coin jars. And the crazy part, you might be one of them, but only if you know what to look for and what to do when you find it. Stay with me because this isn't just a story about a penny. It's about the opportunity most people overlook and how a single cent could rewrite your financial future. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot the rare 1967 no-mint Lincoln penny that could be worth 6 figures and why time is running out to cash in. So take a deep breath. Now ask yourself, what if you've been sitting on wealth this whole time and never knew it? Let's rewind the clock to 1967. America was in a state of transformation, post-war growth, civil rights movements, and big changes in the economy. But in the middle of all that chaos, the U.S. Mint made a subtle decision that would go unnoticed by most and insanely profitable for a few. They removed mint marks. Why? To reduce coin collecting distractions during a coin shortage. So every coin minted in 1967, whether it came from Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco, was issued without a mint mark. A minor detail, or so it seemed. But here's the twist. Some 1967 pennies were struck using leftover special dies. Dies that had sharper features, cleaner edges, and a better overall strike. These weren't just ordinary circulation coins. They were accidental masterpieces. Now combine that with rare errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or misaligned dies, and you have a recipe for a penny worth tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. The rarest of these, authenticated and preserved in near-perfect condition, have fetched up to $967,000 at auction. Want to reset your brain for a moment? Here's a question to wake you up. If someone offered you $500,000 for a coin you almost threw away, would you laugh or cry? Let's make sure it's the first 1.0. What should you look for? Start with condition. Coins graded MS 65 or higher, that's mint state, command the highest premiums, a sharp image of Lincoln's hair and beard, no visible signs of wear. Even under magnification, a smooth and shiny surface with a strong strike, and here's the kicker, double die varieties. These show visible doubling on the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." That tiny error, it could mean the difference between face value and six figures. Let me ask you this, when was the last time you looked at your change with this kind of attention? Here's where it gets exciting. You now know what the 1967 no mint mark penny is. You know its history. You know what makes it special. But here's what most people miss. Knowing isn't enough. You have to act. Because every year, more of these rare coins disappear, lost, damaged, or thrown away. And as they vanish, the value of the remaining ones skyrockets. Coin dealers, private collectors, and investment funds are actively hunting these coins. They're scouring online auctions, estate sales, even flea markets, buying low and flipping high. So why not you? Go through that old drawer. Check your father's coin collection. Dig into that shoebox from your childhood. Because you're not just looking for a coin, you're looking for financial freedom in disguise. Someone out there just sold one of these for almost $1 million. Not because they were lucky, but because they paid attention. And if you're still watching right now, that means you are paying attention too. Before we go, here's a final cliffhanger for you. There's another penny from just 1 year earlier, 1966, that has even fewer surviving high-grade versions, and it's climbing in value fast. But we'll talk about that in the next video. If you don't want to miss it, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because while others scroll past, you're learning how to build wealth one coin at a time. Check your change, dig through those jars, and keep hunting. Because your $1 million moment might already be sitting in your pocket. What if I told you that the small, coppery coin lying forgotten in your kitchen drawer could be worth nearly $1 million? That's not a fantasy. It's real. A 1985 Lincoln Memorial penny with the Denver Mint mark has shocked collectors and auction houses alike by skyrocketing in value, with one rare specimen hitting an eye-watering $985,000. Pause for effect. Now here's the kicker. This isn't some ancient artifact or museum piece. It's a coin that might be sitting in your change jar right now. You see, in the world of coin collecting, rarity and error are gold. And this humble penny checks every box. But wait, don't go running to the couch cushions just yet. First, you need to know what makes this penny worth nearly $1 million and how to spot it. Because if you miss the signs, you could unknowingly spend a fortune on a soda. Let's dig into the mystery, the magic, and the $1 million story behind the 1985 Lincoln penny. Alright, let's rewind for a moment. The year is 1985. Ronald Reagan is president, the Cold War is simmering, and pennies are being minted by the billions. Literally. Over 5.2 billion Lincoln pennies rolled out of the Denver Mint that year. So how can a coin so common become so rare? Here's where it gets fascinating. Among those billions of coins, a tiny handful left the mint with hidden flaws, errors that most people ignored. Missed strikes, double dies, off-center punches, and even composition anomalies. These coins weren't just mistakes. They were accidental masterpieces, freaks of nature in the world of minting. And collectors, they go nuts. Let me ask you this. Ever seen a coin that looks normal until you squint, and the text appears twice? That's a double die. Or how about a penny where Lincoln's profile is slightly shifted, as if he's ducking to avoid taxes? That's a misaligned die strike. Both of these have been found in the 1985 D series. One of the rarest and most valuable? A 1985 D penny struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc, a leftover blank from earlier years. That coin, due to its unique color, heavier weight, and rarity, fetched close to $985,000 at auction. Insane, right? You could walk past 10,000 regular 1985 D pennies and never blink. But then one gleams just a little different under the light, and boom, you're holding a six-figure mistake. Kind of like my first marriage. But seriously, identifying this gold mine isn't guesswork. There are telltale signs, and I'll walk you through them next. Now, if you're still with me, and you should be, this next part could change your financial future. Point 1. Weight. Most 1985 pennies should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours weighs around 3.1 grams, it might have been struck on a bronze planchet. That's a red flag in a good way. Point 2. Color: zinc pennies tend to look dull and silvery under light. Bronze ones, they have a deeper, richer, almost reddish tone, like aged copper. Point 3. Errors: use a magnifying glass. Look for doubled letters in Liberty or the date. Also check Lincoln's I and the word I in God we trust. Slight duplications here can send the price through the roof. Point 4. Off-center strikes or floating roof. Some 1985 D pennies show a strange floating roof on the Lincoln Memorial or missing details on columns. These are minting flaws, and collectors pay big for them. But here's something wild. One collector almost tossed his rare penny because he thought the color was just rust. He nearly threw away $900,000. Imagine that. So what happens if you find one? Well, first, don't clean it. Never scrub or polish a coin. You'll erase the very things that make it valuable. Instead, get it weighed. Use a precise digital scale. Then get it verified by a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once authenticated, auction houses and private collectors could offer you anywhere between $10,000 and $985,000, depending on the error type and condition. You could be sitting on almost $1 million. That's not exaggeration. That's not a dream. That's a documented reality in the world of rare coins. So next time you're emptying your pockets, think twice before tossing that penny in the tip jar. Because the path to a wealthy lifestyle might just begin with one forgotten cent before you go searching through your drawers and jars. Here's the truth: millions of people throw away fortune every single year without knowing it. Don't be one of them. If you want to know which coins to keep, what to sell, and how to turn pocket change into serious wealth, subscribe now. Every week, we uncover the most valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Because sometimes the key to financial freedom is right under your nose and your couch cushion. Thanks for watching, and hey, go check your change. Your $1 million penny could be waiting. Imagine holding a simple penny, just one copper, light, overlooked. Now imagine that same penny is worth $202,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 2002 Lincoln Memorial cent with no mint mark, recently sold for a price most people would only dream of. And here's the catch: it looked just like every other penny in your junk drawer. What if you've spent that exact coin on a gumball? Or dropped it in a tip jar last year? Wouldn't that sting? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'm going to show you what to look for, how to know if you're sitting on a gold mine, and why collectors are going crazy for this penny that once cost just 1 cent. Oh, and fair warning, by the time this video ends, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's dive in. The 2002 Lincoln Memorial cent. No mint mark. It was minted in Philadelphia, though the lack of a mint mark often confuses people. And yes, most of them are completely ordinary. But here's where things get extraordinary. There's a small batch of these pennies that were struck using experimental planchets. Blanks that didn't quite match the standard copper-zinc alloy. Some were struck off-center. Others had double dies, ghostly shadows of Lincoln's face overlapping itself. Collectors love mistakes. The uglier, the weirder, the more valuable. And one particular 2002 no mint mark penny, found in average circulation, scratched and all, sold for a staggering $202,000 because of its rare double die reverse and a unique striking error that misaligned Lincoln's profile. Yes, one single cent turned into a fortune. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your change? Let's be honest, most of us can't even remember the last time we used cash, let alone stared at a penny. The last time I checked my change jar, it was holding up the corner of my couch. But here's the twist. That jar could be your retirement fund in disguise. So what do you look for? Start by flipping the coin over. Is Lincoln's face slightly doubled? Does the memorial on the back have blurry or stacked letters, especially around the words United States of America or 1 cent? Check the color. Some rare planchets have a darker, almost reddish toned. Is it heavier than usual? That could mean it was struck on a foreign blank. And finally, look at the condition. Grading matters. Even with a flaw, a near-mint penny can fetch 6 figures. Now here's the kicker: most of these coins weren't found in auctions or safe deposit boxes. They were found in sock drawers, under car seats, and birthday cards from grandma. Still think you don't have one? You see, the true power of coins like the 2002 Lincoln penny isn't just in their copper and zinc. It's in what they represent: hidden wealth, unexpected opportunity, the chance to turn what's forgotten into a financial turning point. If you're someone who's been holding on to old change thinking it's just clutter, think again. Because with the right knowledge and a little bit of curiosity, you could unlock life-changing value sitting right in your hands. And here's the exciting part. This is just the beginning. There's a 2004 penny even rarer than this one, and it's still in circulation. Yes, people are spending it on vending machines right now. But that's a story for another video. So, if you want to learn exactly how to spot rare coins worth thousands, or even millions, subscribe now. Hit that bell so you never miss a cent that could make you rich. And before you go, check your pockets, because the next millionaire might just be holding a penny.